2, 1, live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to RIPDebt23. My name is Garlips. I will be your host for the next few hours. And I'm just going to do a few donations real quick that came over night because you lovely people have been donating in the gaps between marathon, which is fun. We had a donation last night congratulating Czechs on their world record, I believe they set, in Legend of Zelda Link to the Past for $20 by Clearmouse. We've also had an anonymous donation of $20. And we've had a donation from Soulmass218 of $20 who says, "Hey Sancho, break a leg or a stick or whatever fuzzy 50 hertz eco does for good luck." So with that notion of good luck set for you, I will allow you to introduce yourself and your run, Sancho.
Yay, hey, I'm SanchoPanda. I'm running ICO today. We're doing the 50 hertz version, which means we're skipping large portions of the game, and it should hopefully take us around an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. And I've got some awesome people helping me today. Our host, thanks for the intro, and Soulmass.
Hi, I am Soulmass. I am not a runner of this game, but I am quite familiar with it and friend of Sancho's. And I'm a runner of Shadow of the Colossus, which is vaguely tied to this game. So
Yes.
I know a little bit about things here.
Yeah, alright, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the run. Time will start when I confirm, not a new game, but that I'm going to use no vibrations. So, is the clock ready? I'm going to take...
It's ready.
Okay, so starting the run in 3, 2, 1, go. And just so y'all know, my PS2 is weird. It sometimes will start looping sounds in the game, and if that happens, we'll have to mute the audio, and I apologize in advance if that takes place.
Unless it's a really cool sound.
Like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Like Strong Bad's techno song.
Yeah, exactly.
The system is down. The horn boy is free. The horn boy is free. We could just do that the entire run. Alright, so here I am. I am Eco. I have horns. I have no HUD, which kind of is part of the charm of this game, which came out back in 2001. Although this version of the game was released in February of 2002. Fun fact. So, we're in a castle. We were taken here to be sacrificed to the sorceress queen who resides in the castle. And now we're just kind of figuring out basic puzzling. How do you move? What do you do? Where do we go? How do we get out of here? Any opening thoughts, Soulmass?
I just want to say, as we marvel at this game's design, that it did have a lot of influence on games that came after it. So as you watch this game, you might notice that there's a lot of things going on which you may take for granted today, but this was actually quite a groundbreaking game for its time on the PS2.
Yeah, I think the way they designed even the characters, they don't look nearly as polygonal as, say, I'm trying to think of other games on PS2 at this time. Soulmass, can you help me with that? I wasn't really much of a PS2 person on my own.
I mean, if we're talking PS2, just try and think of, I guess just like the big character games like, Ratchet and Clank or that kind of stuff. More polygonal, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to this, which has some softer edges to it, makes it look a little more realistic.
And these animations were all like done by hand, as opposed to, building like a CGI skeleton and then having it move around. Like all of this is hand animated, which is part of what makes it just kind of blend better with the background, which is already more photorealistic than what you usually have. Alright, we got those jumps so we didn't fall to the ground, which saves us a tiny bit of time. Woohoo! And we're yelling because for some reason yelling makes Eco run just a tiny bit faster. It ends up saving about 10 seconds total going up and back down.
And this is something that persists in all the Ueda games, as the protagonist can just keep on yelling or whistling or whatever they do, and it makes them move a little bit faster for some reason. So you can thank Ueda for that.
So how does whistling work in Shadow? I know that with Last Guardian, calling does not really make... There's nothing really that we could do to make that Jelly Boy run faster.
In Shadow, whistling will cancel whatever your stagger animation is when you're jumping or rolling.
Okay.
So what we do is we spam the whistle button when we're in the middle of a jump, so that when we land, we're not going to stagger. We can just keep on moving. And
Okay.
it's faster to roll or jump than to walk in that game.
All right. Sometimes you'll see me at the end of a jump use the swing the stick to cancel the stagger in Eco. So they have that in common. That stagger canceling mechanic. Whistling's cooler though, I think.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do this safely because it's really easy to miss this and then lose like 25 seconds. There we go. Normally do that a little faster. All right. Oh no, our girl. She, like, in the cutscene, she walks over to us and is like, is this real life? And, ooh, we missed him once there as we go. Okay, and then she touches our face. And then the shadow comes and grabs her. So.
Yes, in this climactic scene, we're introduced to our two best friends in this game, which is this tall, magical girl named Yorda, and our best friend, this wonderful stick that we carry around.
Yes. And fortunately, in the other speed run, you ditch stick after East Arena, and you end up with a different stick when we have to say goodbye to stick. But in this one, it's the... Is it the same stick? No, but it could be. I could go back and we could make sure it's the same stick. If we get to that point and we can spare an extra 15 or 20 seconds, because this stick means a lot to us. This stick. Is that Faith Hill? Soulmass has no idea.
I have no idea. I know the song.
Hey, you just never know what I'm gonna end up singing. All right, we got yes from some people.
It is Faith Hill.
It is Faith Hill. Okay.
According to
Scarlips,
Google,
the MVP.
according to Google, it is in fact Faith Hill.
So, interesting thing about this version of the game, which is why we're running it, because the game was meant to be played on 60 hertz and not 50 hertz. There's this weird thing that happens where right after a jump, if you swing like within a 20th of a second window, it's a little bit after the jump, Eco does like an extra long jump, and that's going to allow us to skip a lot of the game. Like this. Only that time I didn't do it, but that's okay. We hit the door, and so we've got a really quick reset. We can die here several times, to be honest. I usually don't, but I'm also usually not explaining it and then trying to go like this right as I do it.
It was good for the meme, Sancho. Just let it happen.
Yeah. So.
But like he said, it has to be done in a 20th of a second, so it's almost a frame perfect trick. So
yeah, pretty much.
It's something that Sancho has put a lot of time into mastering, and it's still difficult to do.
Yeah, and I'm not the only one. We've got. It's a smaller board on the leaderboards for PAL. Do not chase the bird. Oh my gosh.
She likes birds, okay?
Okay, here we go again. There we go. No problem. And I don't need to do this, but just so we don't have to relive that embarrassing disaster. If the doors are saves, but then also these benches. So we'll just do a quick bench save right here, because you never know. You never know.
Just a little bit of marathon safety here.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. And you don't even actually have to save to make a checkpoint. I learned that during a Bucci run that I was commentating. I was like, oh wait, didn't you? She's like, nope, you don't need it. Okay. We'll try and do some super jumps here, but see, you could easily... No, I didn't get it. Anyways, you can easily kill yourself trying to do the super jumps. There we go, there's one. Oops, didn't mean to do two swings. The game is interesting in that, like, there's an input lag, so I didn't even realize I pressed swing twice, but Eco still had to do both of those swings. We do love ourselves some Bucci. Okay. So we're just doing another puzzle here. Whee! Now we head back. There's another skip which involves jumping across that chasm down there. I'm terrible at that one, so we're just not gonna do it. Please forgive me.
You are forgiven.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we do need to get Bucci. She's got a lot of great speed runs on her. Like, it's just phenomenal to me. Some people, who just run so many different games, and you're just like, how do you keep all that knowledge in your head?
Bucci is just amazing.
Jump. And we got it. We have to actually throw the bomb early. In 50 hertz, for some reason, the bomb explodes a little faster. But we still got... So we still did the swag toss to save some time. It ends up not being that big of a time loss to not do it the other way. The other way, though, we set the bomb off, we jump across the chasm, and Yord is already at the top of the ramp that we built, that we're about to do here. And then you call her, and she runs down the ramp by herself. So it's kind of cool. But we're just doing this the hobo 60 hertz way.
And now we should be able to just run straight for the door here. Nothing should bother us on this bridge.
Yeah. Sometimes she'll let go of our hand. I don't know why. Don't know why she let go of my hand. And now we'll kill them with some Sith lightning.
So fun fact, this game didn't actually have shadows as its villains originally.
Yeah.
It originally was the guards that you meet at the very beginning of the game who are escorting ICO through the gate. And they're just these like soldiers with horns on their helmets, and they would have grabbed Yorda and thrown her over their shoulders and tried to carry her away. So if you've ever played The Last Guardian, which is like the third game in this unofficial trilogy, it's very similar to the soldiers you encounter in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ueda's reasoning for this was really cool. He said part of it was it kind of downplays the violence a little, if you're hitting these shadow creatures instead of actual people, which is true. But then the other thing is just the fact that if you have a game where enemies just sort of spawn out of nowhere, it can take you out of the game sometimes, especially if they're supposed to be like real. But if they're shadows, it makes sense that they could just appear out of nowhere. So it helps with the game's believability and not taking you out of it.
Exactly. They were struggling with a way to find out how to integrate how these soldiers would come in and then exit the screen while carrying Yorda and make it look, realistic in any of the situations. And doing shadows instead solves that problem.
Yep. And they look cool. And you'll get some really cool weird glitches with them sometimes too. It's pretty rare, but it's also awesome when that happens. All right, we had to light those torches because the door wouldn't open for us to leave until we did. Or maybe it could, but I honestly don't remember. We skipped the cutscene, so who knows. But it also lights up the torches out here, which will help us to light a bomb so we can get into the next area, and we get to see... We've already seen what a super jump can do. By the way, that jump we did where we jumped across that bridge, that saved us 4 minutes of 60 hertz runtime, and if we'd been doing the US version where you have to take Yorda with you across all of those things... Oh no! I thought I jumped across the... back down to the bottom for a second. It could save up to 7 minutes if you're trying to do the full puzzle the way it was like originally intended. So, big time save there already.
So we're gonna light this bomb and throw it at this door.
Boom! I do like the bank shot. The trick to the bank shot is using the D-pad. I use the right D-pad button to get that angle correctly every time.
Yeah, I couldn't really see it because it's off screen, but that was a really nice bank shot.
Thank you. Okay, now for this one, we're not going to save at this bench. It's very, very rare that we die here, knock on wood. Although it is possible in a couple different ways. But I do like leaving her in this spot particularly because it's easier for the shadows to not grab her.
There's going to be a very dramatic trick about to come up here very soon.
So normally you're supposed to get the brick on one of these plates, fight 6 shadows, then get Yorda to stand on the other one of these pressure plates, and then we go inside up to the top, get a cube to push down to take Yorda's place at the other pressure plate. But instead we're just gonna do this. Notice how my confidence has changed. Okay, not quite. It's It's a little bit tricky. We've got to like get Eco's foot standing up a little. There we go.
Yeet.
If the angle isn't good enough, you can jump through the back of the of that room back there, and you'll just fall through the floor and die. So got to be careful with that. Okay, so dropping this cube has activated one set of shadows, and the other set activates when when Yorda comes down the steps up there. Whee! Okay, so we're just gonna call her now. And because of where she was, the shadows for some reason couldn't get to her yet, so we don't have to fight any shadows here. So we took a little bit of time just taking her over there, but it guarantees her not getting grabbed. It makes this fast. And that's the first of several puzzles we're about to break in a row. Here comes puzzle number 2. We're supposed to go back up to the top again and out through the top and grab a chain, and it's supposed to lift up this floor so that, but instead we just do the super jump and it allows us to get here immediately, saving another 45 seconds? So yeah, right now we're just doing puzzle break after puzzle break after puzzle break. We're about to do another one. We're supposed to like climb up that windmill to get across, but instead, hey, I usually die at that one at least twice. So we paid we made a sacrifice to the RNG gods early, and now we're getting a little bit of benefit for it. But I do like the windmill. It's very pretty. It's iconic, you could say. It's iconic? Iconic? Iconic. Jump! Yeah, I always... Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is another thing common in Ueda games, is these broken bridges where you have to jump and catch your friend.
We call it a classic Ueda moment. Or watch them fall. You know,
watch them fall. Yes.
Or fall with them. Like, there's so many variations.
And so many broken bridges.
There's an RNG side to the super jumps, in a way, because it's random whether or not I do it right. And I agree with Magnus and the Colossus that it does sound like Ico saying bonsoir every time he calls Yorda while they're close together. Alright, we're going to try and get this skip where Yorda stays down here, so the shadows pathing makes it hard for them to see her. We have to pray that no RNG birds make it down to the floor, because there's one on the steps right there, see? Oh, not anymore, but that bird might cause her to run out, even with where it is, from where she is underneath, and they'll go ahead and grab her. But if she stays where she is, we'll have a chance to skip fighting these shadows. This is probably the most RNG heavy part of this run. Okay, good enough. That was a little sloppy on my part, but okay, Yorda. Get out of the way. Oh, nice.
She didn't look at the bird. That's nice.
Yeah, and then in this version, we can super jump out if I get the angle right, and Yorda gets out of the way. Oh my gosh. Here we go. I like how his head does weird things when he's... There we go. That's what I was trying for. And hopefully she'll get right to me. One of the shadows is down there, which means we only have to contend with one other one. Where are you? There he is. That was really good timing on his part. Let go. Ugh. Oh my gosh.
We're getting trolled a little bit by the shadow.
Yeah, he got her. Well, so that just undid the entire skip. Yes, I know she's just been grabbed. Do you notice, like, the shadow kind of has iframes when he grabs her? I mean, I definitely swung right over her. Okay. Come on. All right, we'll have to fight this. That's no problem. We've gotten some really good skips, so we're doing great on time. And maybe that one who took her down hasn't unspawned yet, and I can get him to respawn. Yes, right now. Perfect. So we don't have to wait for him to spawn up again at the top and fly back down. This is a little time save I figured out. He's going to be running with her over to the other one, and we're just going to intercept them. Boop, boop, boop. Alright. And it also despawns the spider shadows, so we don't have to mess with any of them. Boom. Alright, now let's do this again. Yeah, every once in a while, like, there's several RNG parts about this. She has to stay still. They have to not grab her when you get through the gate, and then they have to not grab her when you're up at the top too. And as you could see, I took like 2 really solid swings at that shadow, and it still... Come on, Yorda. I'm not even gonna get down there. Yeah. All right. And it still wasn't enough to hit him. Huh. We'll get this sooner or later. I usually have problems with this one, but oh well. It's a speed run marathon. Do 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 do. Have you played this game through Soulmass, like casually?
I've unfortunately not been able to play this one yet. I never was able to get a copy for my PS2, and I never actually got a PS3. I skipped that generation of the PlayStation, so yeah, unfortunately I haven't played it yet, but I do want to play it in the future.
Do you still have a PS2?
I
Oops,
do.
no, no! Oh, she climbed on!
Oh, amazing.
Yes! That... Yay, we had our That's Never Happened Before. That was amazing. And now the input's being weird. Okay. Alright, we're skipping about 40 seconds of, like, scaffolding along a wall just to jump right up here. We're gonna do a fight. That was the best. Wow. Okay. Way to go, Yorda. AI recovering from that goofy thing. It's almost like they knew that could happen. Yay! It's really hard to keep them both trapped in this version of the game. This is actually... I've probably only done this like 3 or 4 times, so that's awesome! Alright, now we just have to... Oh, kill one more. I shouldn't have pushed that one yet. Oh well. Wait a second till he can be hit. Alright. And we're done with that event. Okay, Yorda, just get out of my way. She's still scared for about 30 seconds. Okay, I'm looking for a specific setup on my feet here. Okay, now we're gonna try and do this without dying. Whoa, that was close. It's possible, if I mess up the jump, to just like fly through the elevator and fall to our death. Oh, but we got it. There we go. Woohoo! There's another way to do this where you just super jump onto the elevator and then super jump across, but this is that way is actually safer, what we just did, and faster. Now we'll just have to wait for Yorda.
So for anybody wondering how that trick actually works...
Yeah, go ahead and explain it while I try and get her towards us.
We explained the super jump earlier, and the super jump is swinging the stick within that first frame or so right after you do the jump. And it makes ICO do a jump that's much larger than a normal jump. Sort of like he's using the momentum of the stick to propel him forward. But for some reason, there's certain parts of the game where there's uneven footing, and if we have ICO in a certain position where one foot is slightly higher than the other, when we do that jump and perform a super jump, it will yeet ICO way up high into the sky. So we use that to do much larger jumps to skip much larger sections.
Yep. So that jump we did allowed us to skip activating a certain kind of puzzle. That might have been too high. No, we're good. And oh, can we intercept? This will be close. Huh. Yeah.
And yes, as is being put out and said in chat, it's very impressive stuff, and I agree. That trick is not easy to do. It's basically a double frame perfect trick, and Sancho put a lot of time into learning how to do it and get it consistent.
Yeah, and I've been encouraged by, I mean, Bucci getting to the point where she does them so consistently told me, okay, it is humanly possible, but I think anybody who's going to start needs to be prepared, particularly with this next jump we'll be doing. You need to just be prepared to, like, weren't you in my stream once when I was trying for 30 minutes and, like, I could get the yeet, but I never made it, like, up to the top where I needed to get?
Yeah, I think it was your first time actually playing 50 Hertz, and you were trying to do the trick, and I think we were sitting there for a good 30, 45 minutes just coming up with different songs from the 80s to sing while you...
Sounds about right.
You failed the trick over and over and over, and we couldn't figure out why.
We did get graveyard pretty fast, though. I remember. I was real excited about that. But this one is different because you're on an incline, and so just trying to get the right spot and the right angle and the right timing and the double frame perfectness of it. It's a lot to do at once when you don't even know what you're doing wrong. But I had someone send me a diagram to help me out, and I do plan to make a tutorial for how to do these super yeets because I don't think they're quite as hard as they look, but they do take. It does take knowing what's going on, so each time you fail, you can tell why you failed. Okay, so we're trying to get our feet to a very specific spot. That's okay, I guess. And then well, I don't like that, actually. It's all about the setup. Come on, boy, move. And then the timing of the movement, the right angle, and the right swing timing. Nope, not quite. We were in the right spot, but then the angle was a little off, and so it pushed us away instead of yeeting us upwards. This is definitely, for me, the hardest one right here. Sometimes I'll get it first try, but a lot of times I don't. At least we're getting the timing of the jump right, so we're still jumping up pretty high, but now's a good time to share any other facts you may have. Oh, no, I take that back.
Oh, no. We got it.
Third try? All right. We do have one other death jump coming up, so we are going to do a bench save here, just because I don't want to take for granted that I would get the east jump as quickly next time. So we're going to...
That stick is on fire.
Yeah. You're on fire when you're near me. It's a Switchfoot song. Alright, this is the cutscenes that show us opening the left side of the bridge that closed on us in another cutscene we skipped. We're trying to make our way back out. There it is, there's the bridge. And now let's, come on, Yorda. We're gonna save at the bench. Take a little time out because we got one more big, meaningful death jump coming up after this. And there's no guarantee we'll get it, so... That early swing kills all the spider shadows, so you don't have to hunt them down around the room. That was a little sloppy, but we're okay now. We trapped him. Yeah, stay in the corner. You're in timeout. Okay. Come on, Yorda.
I just hop in with a quick donation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've had $10 from Tic Tac, who says, "Good luck, Sancho. Looking forward to the big yeets." Smiley face.
Yay.
Colon open. Colon close bracket.
Thank you, Tic Tac. Oh, we got the ladder drop too. Okay. Now this skip, I'll be honest, is a lot more fun in 60 Hertz, where you leave Yorda and let the shadows carry her over to you. We're not going to be doing that because we won't need to be going in and out of those rooms quite as much. So we're going to be doing something different when we get up to the top of the ladder. That's over there, which changes the strategy. So we need Yorda in the other room right away. So we're just gonna run with her, try and hope these shadows don't grab her. He got an early landing. I'm a little nervous about this turn, because
He's chasing you down.
oh, that was close. Man, look at him. You got
He's
it, buddy.
got them
I want him to do the
legs.
grab now. Do the grab now. Thank you. It's a lot harder for them to grab her if you're running in a straight line. Oh, so she should still spawn with us, but she won't be holding our hand because she let go of it through that corner. All right, I need her out of the spawning area for me to go back through, so I had to pull her forward a little bit. There's like an invisible plate down below. And then since I'm not with Yorda, the shadows won't be here. So the other version of the game, you leave her like right there and let the shadows take her while you run over and do this stuff. But we're not going to be coming back out the same door, so that trick is pointless. Unfortunately. We're not even picking up that sword. Okay, so this lowers the bridge on one side, and normally we don't get to this other lever until right before the main gate, but we're going to try and do a yeet here. Okay, I've got him set up in a certain spot, so if I fail the timing, the railing should save our lives. So this is fine, what's happening right here. This is intended. I think I'm swinging a little too early. This is fine. It's better than dying. Actually, I'm getting a little thrown off by the angle there.
I'm just going to hop in again because we've had
Oh.
another donation.
Yay!
from
Okay.
Mark Blade, who's donated $20 and says, "Godspeed, Sancho Panda." You're getting so much luck in the donations here. That also puts us over $800 now.
Yes!
Awesome.
Sweet. Notice this door is closed? That's because the game doesn't know that we're supposed to be in there yet. So you can't actually go back through. So make sure you pull the lever before you go across. Alright, so we just skipped about 18 minutes of gameplay by jumping from one lever to the other. We skipped having to go like down over through that window there, into a waterfall section, into a water mill section, to an elevator section, up to a water tower section, which is like up really high, and you can dive doing all these really high jumps from one platform to another. And then finally that would bring us back over to right here where we are right now. So I want to say it adds up to being about like 30 to 40% of the 40% of the gameplay is skipped in the 50 hertz, and I want to say that you're skipping about like 20 to 25% of the puzzling just right there.
Now, Sancho, Chad is asking, how different does it feel to play 50 hertz compared to 60 hertz? Is it just about adding the yeets, or is it like with Shadow of the Colossus, where it feels like learning a new speed run?
It definitely feels like learning a new speed run, just because literally every single puzzle is broken, except for like 2, until you get to the end of the game, and then it feels exactly the same close to the end of the game. Once we lose, not Yorda, but once we lose a weapon that allows us to do the super jump. So anytime we don't have the weapon, it feels exactly the same. And anytime we have the weapon, it's like, oh, we're going to save anywhere between 40 seconds and 17 minutes of gameplay because we've got this stick in our hands. I still enjoy both of them, but I do like 60 hertz. I do still love 60 hertz. It's my first love. All right. It's very similar to the other side, except the angle is different, and the camera zoomed in a little, which is nice. So it helps us get our setup a little easier. I think the angle was right there, and I just did my swing a little late. That time I did the swing right, but the angle wasn't good. I'll stop breaking down every fail. How about that?
This is a double frame perfect trick, so
Yeah.
it's like if you don't get one of them, then the other's not going to work anyway.
The angle, the movement, and the timing. There we go. And I avoided the elevator, which landing on the elevator is one way to do the trick. But I'm pretty good at avoiding it, and that costs you about 30 seconds of it dropping down and back up again. So both of these only took 3 tries. That's not bad. That's not bad for a marathon. We've only had 1 death, right? It was at the beginning. Oh,
Yeah,
but we did chicken out in the chandelier area, so we can't brag too much.
And then the jump from east to west took a little bit of time too. But
Yeah, I normally am not that. Come on, just light the... What in the world, Eco? Okay. Please, thank you.
come on, stick.
Come
Be
on,
our
baby,
friend.
light my fire. That's another one. That's the Rolling Stones, right? I just said that for everybody who loves the Doors, just to mess with them.
I was gonna say, please don't mess that one up, Sancho.
I'm trying to set the chat on fire. Okay. See if I can make a good jump over this railing. It can annoy and troll you. And we're trying to make it out of here quickly so the shadows, when we come back through, won't spawn early. It gives us a better chance of making it out without them grabbing her. To another strategy I developed. Leaving that room really quickly means we'll have about 10 seconds before the shadows spawn on our way out. It makes it a lot easier to try and get her down the ladder. You can see early runs where people would get to that point and they'd be fending off shadows while trying to get Yorda out of that room. It's insane. It's insane to watch. Alright, we're down to our last couple of broken trick jumps for quite a while. We're going to avoid a whole puzzle where we get Yorda onto this cylinder. Ooh, that's close. Nope, we came out on this side. This one, it's
Yeah.
sort of a blind angle, which makes it tough. We're trying
Yeah,
to
it's a
get...
blind angle, and the devs put this fence here to try and prevent you from doing this. But
Yeah.
thankfully they didn't put
Woohoo!
the fence quite in the right spot, so
Nope.
you still get to the other side.
Yes, we do. Oh, that was tricky. But if I fall back down, we'll have to do it again. So I try to be a little more careful with this part. There we go. And we have to do some of this mainly because in the on East Arena, the doors could only be opened in a certain order. So by doing the last one first, we tricked the game into thinking we'd done all the puzzling. But in truth, we only did the last part. But with this one, since the doors can be done in any order, you can't trick the game. Plus, we've got to turn this reflector. Like the west gate stuff won't open until that reflector is turned. Oh, that's a good jump. All right, so once again, we went through a door that's supposed to be open when you go out there, but it wasn't yet. So now on this side, it isn't, and we've got to open it. And
Lever, Kronk. Is that
Oh, yeah.
lever, Kronk?
pull the lever, Kronk. I forgot about it. We've pulled so many levers already. This game, that's the other thing about this game, though, is in 50 hertz, it goes so fast, it's really hard to explain everything. We're really kind of even skipping over the things that we're skipping over, for what that's worth. It's very meta. Our commentary is skipping over stuff, too. All right, where is Yorda? She's up at the top of the ladder. She can be down here sometimes. She can be up there sometimes. This is a really good spot for her, though. This has been a good west so far, as long as we can get our ladder drop and don't have to fend off the shadows. Yay!
Beautiful.
All right, now, as promised, we're going back to get original stick.
Yes, let's go get our friend the stick.
Because who needs a marathon record? I mean, really.
We can't leave the stick behind. The stick will never leave us.
Which stick was it? Oh, man, she gets grabbed quickly. What? Okay,
Oh,
this should be
no.
fine.
It's okay. We'll have the stick when we come back.
We'll just come out the bottom, I guess. I should have known. That was... She always gets grabbed quickly in this area. All right, where are you, Yorda? Oh! He's like grabbing her right there. Come on, Yorda. Worth it. Bye.
Totally worth.
We don't
Didn't
even have
even-
to...
Barely lost any time.
Yes. Barely lost any time at all. So normally, the reason that timer is so short, I think, is because you go into that... Normally, we leave her in this section if we go up the big tall ladder that we dropped down. Moments ago, even, it feels like now, after pulling the lever. And so I think they just wanted to give you one other little scary event. But since we already pulled that lever early, we don't have to do it now. The bridge will already be open for us. Although it does cause problems because in 60 hertz I'll forget that I need to pull the lever on the way out, and there will it'll be like right here. The other half of this bridge won't be down because I'll have forgotten that I wasn't doing 50 hertz at that moment.
Magnus in chat is saying they played ICO on PS2 and PS3, but never fully understand the plot, and I think that's actually on purpose.
Yeah.
Ueda wanted to keep the plot pretty simple and vague for this game, and without too much exposition. Originally, the evil queen was going to appear in more places, like that
Yeah.
East and West arena that we just went through, and do a lot more exposition.
Yep.
But they ended up taking all of that out because Ueda thought that having too much exposition would ruin the atmosphere and the way the game was meant to be played.
Interestingly enough, in the novelization of the game, which is like it doesn't really follow the game too much, but it puts the East Arena scene back in, so we get more exposition from the queen there.
So basically, the plot of the game, you don't really get much of it at all throughout the entire thing, and then once you get to the very end, there's a giant exposition dump from the queen that kind of explains almost everything.
Yeah, and I highly recommend the novelization because it adds an extra twist ending onto the twist ending that we already get from this, and it's really, really, really cool. So it double Shyamalans the ending. I think that's the technical term for what they did. Double Shyamalan-ing. Okay, we're just gonna save here just in case, because I have died jumping across the bridge before.
It's a very empty atmosphere and not a whole lot of music and not a whole lot of exposition. It's something that influenced the Dark Souls, Demon Souls series once FromSoft started making those.
Yeah.
But we're about to come up to a climactic moment here.
Yes, and I'm stutters, like every once in a while I'm switching from running to walking, because if you just run the whole time, Yorda will fall, and that eats up a lot of time, because you have to wait for her to gather her strength to get back up again. Because she's so weak here.
Oh no, what's happening? I don't like this, Sancho.
It's just a cutscene, it's just a classic Ueda moment. Ugh.
Oh, but they're on a bridge. I don't like it when they're on the bridge.
Me either. No!
Our friends, what's going to happen?
I don't know. We'll check and see. Alright, I gotta hold up. I gotta make sure I'm doing the right angle here, so we don't just jump to our death. Okay, good. Alright, we're all okay. Oh no!
We made, no, the stick!
Stick, no! Did a duck just come by and save the stick? Is that what happened?
I will not explain.
Oh, now you've got upper body arm strength. This whole game, you've needed me to lug you around, and now without zero energy, here you are. Like, how hard would that be? She probably just has a really strong core, you know? That's probably what it is.
Well, her back half is now turned to stone, so you're safe. Oh, no,
yeah.
it reached her hand. Never mind. You're not safe.
4-4 sailboat lizard eating seagulls.
It is a good point to talk about the hieroglyphics. Yorda speaks her own language, so you don't understand her. And whenever text is on screen, you get to see the language, which is these pictographs, and each one is, a symbol, sort of like hieroglyphics, that corresponds to a letter in the English language. And so we can understand what she's saying if you go to the key that we've all figured out as far as the translation. But yeah, she speaks in pictographs.
Yeah, and in New Game Plus, it translates it. Wait, you might have said that, oh, I wasn't paying attention while I was doing these jumps. So if you did, I apologize.
Oh, no.
Whee!
And these jumps are very finicky.
Mm-hmm.
I know Sancho kind of switches between using D-pad and the stick in different areas here.
Yeah, I don't use the D-pad for those. There's just too much camera angle turning, but I do use the D-pad a lot when the camera's like stationary.
And yes, this is very similar to something you see later in The Last Guardian. All of these games, and like I said, FromSoft kind of pulls from this as well. They all kind of pull from the same sort of aesthetic and types of game assets to all give them a very similar feel, which is why they are seen as an unofficial trilogy, and they're all in sort of the same universe, even though they don't really directly talk about each other.
Yeah, speaking of Shadow, have you ever played Kenna Bridge of Spirits?
I have not played that one, but I've seen trailers and everything for it. I'm aware of it.
There's a definite Ueda-ness to them that if it's not intentional, it's definitely there. But there's one place specifically where you're about to do a boss fight, and it's raining, and you have to like climb up this windy tower. And it's like, this is Malice. This is like going to fight Malice. It's just so cool.
Yeah, climbing a tower before any sort of boss fight.
While it's raining.
That's 100% inspired by this. There's no way you can get away from that.
I'm just moving my camera out of the way because all of those water sprites will eat frames. I don't think it really changes the in-game time, but it changes the RTA a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whee! So the cutscene always shows up late in 50 hertz, and it makes me nervous that I didn't push that thing far enough. I'll have to wait till the next one. So people were asking, you know, how does the game feel different? In this part of the game, 50 hertz, 60 hertz, PS2 US version, it all feels exactly the same. The only difference being you can't skip the cutscenes in the US version, which was a rushed release that came out, what, in September of 2001 as opposed to November? Just playing it careful. All right. But it, even this here, like, the shadow eco connection of your companion isn't with you anymore, and you've got a lot of platforming, you know, especially if you're not doing the pitless version of Malice. You know, you've got to spend a lot of time without that companion that you had, and so you really feel their absence. And we really feel the absence of Stick here.
And as we keep saying, Ueda does this in all of his games. We always have a moment where we lose our companion and we have to get by on our own.
Yeah.
And eventually get reunited.
I think the difference with Last Guardian is he's like, you know what? Let's do the reuniting way earlier and make it like super heartwarming and adorable. And he does.
All right, this is a difficult jump, so Sancho
Yeah.
will definitely get it first try.
I'm playing it safe for this thing because it's done weird things to me lately. You think
Yeah,
you
that-
know a game, and then the D-pad setup you always use, suddenly for a reason you don't understand, the camera starts messing with the input directions, and then you miss it during SGDQ 2022. But I'm not bitter.
Yeah, Sancho made it look easy there, but jumping onto that spinning Tootsie Roll is actually quite difficult.
That's a great description of it. Okay, go. He's having a little bit of trouble with the wall. Stick
So
was the best.
I know another series of games that I know you like, Sancho, is very similar to a lot of the movement in these games, and Ueda almost definitely took inspiration. What would you think the Prince of Persia series brought to this game?
Oh, Prince of Persia is fascinating because the first Prince of Persia game influenced ICO, and then ICO in turn influenced Sands of Time. So it's a hand-holding, baton-passing sort of relationship where they both together ended up doing so much for the gaming community. But yeah, you play Sands of Time, and you know you've got that female side character. You even push blocks a lot in that game, and of course the combat's very different, a very different style of combat. But there's still a lot of connection, and there's a time where you guys get separated for a long time as well. So, yeah, heavy, direct, and they've both mentioned it, how direct the connection is. But Sands of Time, you know, ooh, why am I up that high? Oh well.
So that is our plug for Sands of Time, by the way.
Yes, but the first Prince of Persia game, like the one that was like on like the Apple, the old Apple personal computers and stuff before it even made it to a console. That game is one of the first ones where you don't have you have realistic physics, like in the jumping and movement and stuff. They used rotoscoping, I think, to animate the guys in that version, in that game. But even just the very little sound, background noise, all that influenced Ueda. So yeah, this all still feels the same. We're making our way down to Sword, but then once we get the Sword, the super jump mechanics will come back into play. So I'm excited about that. And we'll get to do one more big puzzle skip, which is skipping fighting the 53 Shadows, which, of course, is kind of the bane of the 60 Hertz runner, as it can easily make or break your run.
Yeah, that's one of the big positives of this run, is you don't have to do the 53 Shadows fight.
Yeah, that fight, you know, takes... Let's see... It takes around like 3.5, up to like 4 or even 5 minutes if you're not on your A game, or if the shadows just start glitching and getting stuck in different places. So
Yeah,
it's a
it's
huge
terrible
bit of the game.
to get this far in the run, and then you get to 53 shadows, and the RNG of the shadows or your mistakes in the fight just totally throw the whole run.
All right, we'll try the dock jump skip. No, I don't think the angle was good enough. Oh well, still faster, I guess.
So we found this shiny sword here at the bottom of the castle.
Everything I did there, you have to do. That was the fastest route.
Something seems special about this shiny sword.
Yes, it's like, we call it Sworda because it's a sword and Yorda at the same time. It's the same sword that if we hadn't skipped the cutscenes, it's the same swords that the priests and knights used to get us here in the first place. Yep, 53. We know it's 53 shadows because you count the number of sarcophagi in the room, and those sarcophagi, like for each shadow you kill or disembody, a sarcophagi starts glowing, and there's 54 total, but the one we were in, which is right there that we fell out of, does not need a person in it.
So this is where we would get our plot exposition when we fight the queen, and she explains about how Yorda, her daughter, is going to be her vessel that she transfers to so that she lives forever, and she uses the power of the horned boys like you to make this possible and all of that. It's honestly quite a simple plot, so Ueda really didn't need to throw a whole lot into the game. The exposition works at the end, I think.
Yeah. But realizing as you fight these other creatures, you hadn't made the connection until now, as they fill up the other sarcophagi, that, wow, these were actually other horn boys who are, forced to serve the queen. That was not a good jump. Oh, well. I'm like 1 for 3 right now. There we go. All right. We got to get up to the top and then come back down to trigger this cutscene.
Now the fight with the queen, she's going to be sending out these energy waves, and if you get hit by any of these waves, it's an instant death.
If you're not holding the sword, yeah.
Yeah, but if you hold the sword up when the wave comes to you, then you can block it. So timing that is essential, and doing it very quickly is also essential in a speed run.
Yeah, you can also stand behind these movable pillars, but because we know where the swords spawn, we'll only have to do that once.
So all of this is very calculated movement. Sancho knows exactly where the sword is going to go after each strike, and so it's easy to practice this over and over and get it down to a certain cycle.
I'm not getting the timing on the jumps now after all that time of getting them. Oh well, we got it when it was important. Alright, now it's stuck in a wall, which is sneaky when you're first playing the game. And last one.
And yes, chat, the Horn Boys is definitely something that the ending of Shadow of the Colossus alludes to as the connection between the two games. Spoilers for a very old game, but at the end of Shadow of the Colossus, you see that the protagonist has been transformed into a baby with horns, and that is presumed to be the very first Horn Boy in the world.
We did a flying stab for fun, for swag there.
But the queen is now quite electrified. She's feeling good.
She's electrifying. I got chills.
Unfortunately, she says that Yorda will never be able to escape the castle with us, which is a shame.
Aww. And everything she said up to this point is true, so we know we could just take her at her word, right?
Exactly.
Like when she said she loves Yorda. Or when she said she's just not that into you, like we can believe all of that, right?
Yeah, I would believe it. I believe her.
All right. This was a good run.
Yeah, it was a pretty good run. You've done well.
Thank you. There's a little bit more. We got to make it through the credits so we can get our end time score, which is part of why the time estimate is what it is.
Yeah,
But
unfortunately with Eco, the problem with the speedrun is you do everything really fast up to this point, and then there's almost about 15 minutes of cutscene you have to watch before you actually gain control again to finish the game.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. It feels like that. I think it ends up being around 10 minutes, but still, for this gun. Okay, well, this is all well and good, but I believe that a song has been redeemed. Is that correct? Was the incentive met?
It was indeed.
Alrighty, we will go ahead with that then, and turn off this other epic song for our own song. We'll turn the game sound back on afterwards. Also, shout outs to my PC for... Oh, I just hit it. Gosh. Shout outs to my PC for not looping the sound. We have a legit run as well. All right. When we met, you were in a bird cage. You made the cutest parakeet. All of my life, I felt like a sacrifice. Till you touched me on the cheek, Yorda. Please open doors for me, Yorda. Unleash your inner Palpatine, Yorda. And together we'll escape this castle keep. I am a descendant of wonder. Quit's not in my vocabulary. But when I call and you don't budge at all, sure ups the difficulty, Yorda. Don't shake your head at me, Yorda. Stop chasing birdies, please, Yorda. And when I hold out my hand, why don't you trust me? Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Retracted bridge won't separate us. I'll scale the cliffs of insanity. Find the sword of light. Fight 53 shadow guys. I'll stab your mom in the spleen, Yorda. It's your turn to rescue me, Yorda. While the castle's collapsing, Yorda. And then we'll split a watermelon on the beach. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum. I should have had water and maybe a cough drop, because my low voice registry was like kaput for all of that.
That was excellent, Sancho. Thank you so much for that.
Anyways, we made it through anyways. Yay! Good run. And it was almost deathless, but we did have that one death at the beginning.
Oh, hey, there was more collapsing bridges there for a second.
Yeah, and now you can hear the da-dum, da-dum that I was doing is actually from this song. It's not part of Eric Clapton's original song. I do like when I make parodies to blend in melodies from what I'm parodying, if that makes sense. All right. Oh, I didn't get to do this earlier, so Stick, no. Goodbye, Stick. We miss you.
So we get the classic storytelling archetype that we've now defeated the evil bad guy, and unfortunately they were a load-bearing part of this castle, so the whole castle is going to fall apart.
Yep. And look at that. Double rainbow. All the way across the sky.
Oh my lord, what does it mean?
Oh, let's follow the birds. Whee! Forgot, we still have camera control here. Zico, What's happening? We could make it a lot more Michael Bay.
Oh god, please stop.
Shoom. Shoom. Look at that horn.
Zoom in on the horn. Oh,
What's funny is you can't, like, that doesn't affect the credits, or it'd be fun to just zoom in on the names, but we can't. American flags. Walking off the stage during a word promo for a new TV. What is happening, Ryan? What are you referencing? I have no idea.
we need far more product placement
probably
as
probably Michael Bay-isms. Yeah, you need a lot of American flags if you're gonna make a Michael Bay movie.
well. Where's
That's
all
true.
our product placement? Eco should be chugging a Pepsi right now.
Hey, I'm running from Texas. Dr. Pepper, thank you very much.
Okay, you're right. Dr. Pepper is superior to all other beverages.
You know, if they hadn't just stopped and stared for so long, they probably could have made it. So it's cool now that we get to see a lot of the cutscenes we skipped. This was our first time entering when the gate shut, so we'd realize we need to open the gate.
Yeah, chat, that was our product placement for the run. This run was brought to you by Dr. Pepper.
You know, I haven't had a Dr. Pepper. I don't know, I stopped having, like, caffeinated soft drinks just because all the sugar in them. I usually do tea now. It's been so long, but it's still so good. I still remember what it tastes like. But I don't like the Diet Dr. Pepper. Yeah. We need another Sable run to get that sweet, sweet Taco Bell sponsorship. I'm more of a Taco Bueno guy. Would you judge me for that, Soul Mass?
I would not. You have Taco Bueno there. Here we have Taco Bell, and there is actually one Del Taco near me. And I'm more of a Del Taco person personally, but I'm not going to drive all the way to Del Taco, so I'll settle for the Taco Bell.
In cheapness / greasiness, where do those two rank? Del Taco and Taco Bell?
Del Taco is slightly less greasy, but actually Taco Bell has better food for you.
Okay, so I would say the higher rank, because we've got a plethora of options here in Texas. There's like Del Taco, Taco Bell, Taco Bueno, Taco Cabana, Rosa's, Fuzzy's Tacos, Torchy's Tacos. That's how I would rank just the ones in my area.
You've got quite a lot there. That's extreme ranking right there.
Torchy's is really good. They have one that it's like fried avocado. A fried avocado taco. It's so good. Yeah, Fuzzy's Taco. I'm with you, a tea tree. It just doesn't sound like the type of place you want to eat a taco from. It sounds moldy, but a lot of people love them. There's one close to TCU's campus that's really, really popular. You had a Torchy's in your town, but it was not good? Aww, that's a pity. The Torchy's in Austin, incredible.
We're toward the end of the credits here where it's talking about all the really important people, and we do want to thank all these people for making this game because it is awesome.
Be quiet, Soul Mess. Ryan and I are talking about Torchy's.
We're about to enter the very last part of the game here. We're going to regain control finally.
Yeah. Torchy's also has a street corn that's really, really good.
What's important here is watermelons. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the watermelons in this run. But if you ever play this game and you get to New Game Plus, there would be watermelons on this beach, and you could carry the watermelon over to Yorda and share it with her.
Yeah, if it was New Game Plus. Soul Mass, fun fact, I very, very recently discovered another way to run 50 Hertz, where instead of taking the long route to east and then quickly jumping over to do rest, from the courtyard area, we instead do a really difficult skip, which allows us to do all the difficult stuff to get to west and then just hop over and do east. It takes longer, but it's like West Arena first route.
Yeah, I saw y'all discussing that in the Discord, and I was like, why would you even do this? But y'all kept on going.
I think the main thing is just to give us something else to do. Like the 50 hertz eco run is kind of, I wouldn't say that the world record can't be improved on, but the way it can be improved on is only just by further a little bit more precise execution and a little bit better RNG, and you're only gonna save like, I don't know, half a minute.
And this is a good time to plug the Team Eco Speedrun
Yes.
Discord.
Yeah.
If you're interested in running this game or Shadow of the Colossus or The Last Guardian, check out the Team Eco Speedrun Discord. All of us are very happy to have new people drop by and learn the runs. We all love teaching these runs to new people. So definitely join the Discord, and we'd love to have you.
What's that? A beached dolphin? A giant jellyfish? No. It's Yorda.
It's Yorda. She escaped the castle. I can't believe it.
And her hair isn't white anymore. Interesting.
Is she human now?
To be human again, to be human again. To sing a song from Beauty and the Beast, the Broadway version.
I like that deep cut. Thank you for that, Sancho.
It wasn't in the original. I don't know if it's in the live action remake, but I take a ridiculously strong stance against Disney live action remakes.
Oh, we forgot to call it, but it was time when we
time
right?
right at the cutscene. Sorry.
We go by IGT, so we forgot to call time.
Yeah. The Broadway soundtrack is good, Miss Ray. You are so correct. Let's see what time we got here, including all those little saves we did here and there. An hour 49. Not bad.
Yeah, for a
With the
marathon
safety
run,
saves.
hour 49 is very good. Great job, Sancho.
I mean, to be honest, if we hadn't done all the silly saving and like me backtracking to get the stick and stuff, this would have been like a 55 or a 56. It would have been a really, really good run. Anyways, so good job, everybody. Thank you for letting us be here. You can follow me at SanchoPanda on Twitch. You see my name in the chat and do it that way. And I run Eco, but normally I just do games at like late at night, and I call it the Cure for Insomnia stream. It's always a nice, relaxing game that helps us to just wind down at the end of the day. And we usually don't raid because the idea is we're gonna calm down, and we're gonna go to bed. So that's what I'm there for. If you need me, Soulmass, where can we find you?
You'll see my name in chat as well. It's Soulmass218. I also stream Team Eco games, except I run Shadow of the Colossus. So if you're interested in seeing some speedruns of Shadow of the Colossus in different categories, you can follow me there. I stream weekly, and I don't stream quite as late as Sancho, but it is in the evenings, US time. So if you want to see some Shadow of the Colossus or some other games that I run, definitely drop me a follow. And I do want to also thank Meteor Speedruns for having both of us here and for raising money for such a great cause.
Yeah, thanks so much. We are Dunzo. Good luck to everybody else streaming. Keep those donations coming in. Love, luck, and lollipops. That's what they say on Pinky and the Brain. Kids
Absolutely. Fantastic run. Thank you so much as well. We had the dizzying highs of the castle, the very low lows of losing stick, but then we had a music number at the end. So I feel like we got the full package. Tremendous. All right, everybody, please make sure to contemplate your donations if you can get them in. We'll be back very soon with Stardew Valley, so don't go anywhere and rave out to this awesome music.